You dash through the woods at full speed, chasing after the tower guards that you spotted near I.O. So, y'all know I'm always down for some random violence. But why are we chasing these guys? They're from our old colony that 100% wants us dead. Shannon rushes along beside you, having come as soon as she heard the alarm. Why were they even looking for us in the first place? It's not like we've been threatening them. Our existence is a threat. People follow Blackstock because they're scared, and they think he's their only option. You made him look weak. He needs to find and kill us before word spreads. We can't let them get away. Blackstock won't stop at punishing us. Everyone back home is in danger as well. We have to protect them. Following the trampled brush, you stumble into a clearing, only to find two tower guards struggling to fight off a pair of drones. Listen, this is where you sit back and just watch. Let me go! A loud crackle draws your attention to a radio on the ground, a chillingly familiar voice droning from the small speaker. Status report. Have you located the traitors' camp? They must be wiped out. Get off of me! Officer Jung shoves the zombie back. As she locks eyes with you, it all comes flooding back, a report fleeing the tower. Patricia's death. You. Reaching for your weapon, when the bushes across from you suddenly bursts apart, revealing a massive horse bearing a rider in full metal armor. Have at thee! I'm sorry, what? The armored knight knocks a drone's head clean off with their flail, while their horse tramples the other one beneath its hooves. Hoover! Two more riders on horseback trot into the clearing, dressed in jeans and mismatched pieces of armor. You stole all the fun again. Maybe not. The knight turns to you, or on you, raising the blood, brain-splattered flail in your direction. You have been found trespassing by the Knights of Ironmount, and must be taken to the king in accordance with the laws of the land. What about the other two people that were fighting drones? Just curious. Did they get taken too? Should let them know. Chapter 9. Throw down the gauntlet. You're led into what looks like a small medieval village, full of people dressed in a mixture of leather, denim, hand-stitched garments. One man uses a chainsaw to chop lumber, while another loads into a rickety horse-drawn cart. A chainsaw, mind you. What is this place? We don't use axes in the future of the apocalypse. Ironmount, our home. It was once a site of Renaissance festival. After the outbreak, the king turned his land into a sanctuary. So you're saying is you're all playing a game of extreme dress-up? Well-crafted plate protects better than anything against zombie claws and teeth. Hey, speaks the truth, we're wearing it. All of us here had the skills necessary to survive the end of the world. You do well to take note of that. Survive is a bit generous. Following Eli's gaze, you take a closer look at the people and notice that many of them are very thin, cheeks sunken in, and skin clinging to their bones. These people must be starving. You glance up at the helmeted knight who rides stoically at the front of the group. Excuse me, Head 9. Can you tell us more about your leader? This land was his in the days of Ren Fair, but when many of us fled our homes after the outbreak, he welcomed us and took the role of king. I swear to God, it's like The Walking Dead. That sounds a little self-serving. I understand why you would say that, but while I do not always agree with the king, we would not have survived this long without his guidance. DeLuna shoulders past you, roughly, addressing the head knight in an obsequious tone that makes you want to kick him. Look, this is a huge misunderstanding. We were chased here by the rest of these people. It wasn't our fault. Bullshit. You were the ones that... Quiet. The king will decide whose fault it is. Good. The knights dismount their horses and lead you all into a large building, oddly grand compared to the rest of the village, but inside other knights nod in greeting. Lady Aaliyah, welcome back. The head knight removes her helmet, revealing a youthful but stern face. Thank you. I must speak with the king urgently regarding these trespassers we found at the border. The two exit the room, leaving you under the watchful eye of another knight. Shannon sidles up to you and whispers, What's the plan for getting out of here? I mean, we are getting out of here, right? No, I was gonna stay here. It's cozy. They got books. Better than Pixelberry's writing. Oh! If we don't keep an eye on those tower guards, they could get back to Blackstock and tell him about Io. We can't risk it. As you and Shannon look for a place to sit in the ornate room, you notice a heavy leather book sitting on the desk, the spine reading A Royal History of Ironmount. Well, if we're going to be here for a while, you may want to look over that. It would be nice to know more about the place. We met with the king. You know, the knights are as talented as Aaliyah. Maybe you could even pick up some fighting tips to bring home. Read this tome to learn more about the history and rules of Ironmount. You lift the heavy tome and crack it open to the table of contents. Oh yay, a bunch of reading. A Royal History of Ironmount, detailed by scholar Frederick Fred Rutledge. Rules. The rules are the king's word is law. The king may be advised by members of his noble court, but in a village matter, it is he who makes the final decision. Every citizen of Ironmount must contribute their fair share of toil. Children shall study and labor under their parents until they come of the age at which the point they shall be taken on as an apprentice by another craftsman, as chosen by the king and his court. Robbery, assault, murder are strictly forbidden unless the individuals are engaged in a duel, tournament, or game where this law has been waived. Fraternizing with outsiders without the king's express permission is tantamount to treason. The Knights of Ironmount ensure the safety of the humble village, and it is they who seek to protect this land and undead marauders and ensure the king's law are carried out. Those who break or refuse to abide by the doctrines will be punished in accordance with their crimes, or as the king sees fit. Before times. The Great Ironmount Resistance Fair was first began in the year of 2015. It is founded on this very land by a small group of dedicated craftsmen who sought to share their knowledge and skills. Soon they were gathered twice a year, and the dirt field nearby was packed to the brim with cars. Midwinter Festival was a time of celebration. Giving classes were taught on leather and metalworking to craft fine armor, jewelry, and there was more food than anyone could possibly eat. By contrast, the Midsummer Festival was a time for sport. Competitions were held in axe throwing, archery, and turkey leg eating. And of course, we must not forget the most celebrated and honored tradition of the Knight's Joust, where the most talented rider showed off their martial prowess. Outbreak. Many of the Ironmount's founders and visitors were driven from their homes by the zombie threat, and in turn they came here seeking refuge. Our magnificent and generous King Trent was the rightful owner of the land, and in his kindness and mercy, gave the place to all, supervised the construction of the village, and even took on the burden of leadership. He assigned roles to all in the village, from the farmers to the nobility, giving us all a place in his glorious kingdom. Our reliance on handcrafted weapons has put us on an advantage. Guns and explosives may kill the undead, but the noise draws in even more. Melee weapons, such as maces, flails, and polearms, have proven far better for battle, hence why every knight has been outfitted with one. While the horde has encroached upon us time and time again, our knights have bravely defended our lands and killed any of the infected, even giving their own lives to ensure our continued survival. Sadly, we have had to put down a few horses that were bitten, for fear that they too would turn. There has been no evidence of the infection taking hold in the animals, but it is a concern. Understandable. Years since. In more than 2 decades that have passed since Ironmount was officially established, our humble village has grown beneath the careful watch of our king. But naturally, challenges arose. Some years at midsummer, the number of drones increased 1,000-fold, and all we could do was hide in our cellars and pray. Even that did not protect some of us. The winter of 2034 was particularly hard. There were too many mouths to feed and not nearly enough food. Many were lost. After that, our illustrious king made the difficult decision to close our borders and suspend trade in order to keep the population under control. Now the king sponsors the monthly games, providing entertainment to all while ensuring the continued prosperity of Ironmount. We also have been terrorized by a group. They call themselves the Raiders. They pillage our supplies, attack our people, and while our knights train ever more diligently in the sparring fields and archery ranges, they still have proved a problem. And of course, there is no doubt our wise and courageous king and his loyal knights will stamp out this threat. the history of Ironmount is still being written, and only time will tell what future accomplishments await. And nothing else. This place sounds like it used to be really fun before the zombies took over. They had all the sorts of crafts and events. Though it does mention the king sponsored some of the games, so maybe they still do some of that. Sounds like these knights really have a handle on fighting off zombies. I bet we could learn a thing or two from them. Slow down, Lady Faye. We gotta get out of the sitch first. After a few tense minutes of waiting, the door swings open, and your group, the tower guards, are quickly escorted into an extravagant throne room. People in fancy clothing sit on either side, and in the center, in a lounging massive armchair, is a scruffy-looking man in a crown and a richly trimmed cape. Leia stands before him, her face studious neutrally. Ahem. The man on the throne glares daggers at one of them, who quickly perks up, face covered in a thin sheen of sweat. Forgive me, sire. His Grand Majesty of Ironmount, King Trent. Bow. Troy elbows you in the side as he whispers, and you quickly give a stiff bow. Everyone else follows suit. It's an honor, Your Majesty. I'm Faith Reeves. My head knight, Lady Alea, has informed me you were caught trespassing on my land. Who are you, then? More raider scum looking to steal what rightfully belongs to me? That's not it. We aren't even together. These... Silence. You speak to me with respect unless you wish to lose your tongues. Eep. Do not think I will go easy on you just because you surrender to my knights. Now, what do you have to say for yourself? We are enemies of the raiders. You are the only ones who have crossed their paths. From what I hear, they tear through colony after colony, thinking only of themselves. The raiders are true barbarians. Well, as the saying goes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Unfortunately, the raiders aren't the only enemy we've made. We were forced to flee from our old colony, and they've continued to pursue us. That's the only reason we trespassed on your land. We had to protect ourselves. Excuse me, Your Majesty, but this is all a load of bull. 3 of that group are traitors of our home colony, the Tower. Oh, is that so? They defied our laws, then fled with stolen food and weapons before we could make them answer for their crimes. We were sent to track them down in hopes of retrieving our stolen goods, but they attacked us. We were forced to run for our lives. I hate traitors. Is what these 2 say true? The Tower was sacrificing people. They were kidnapping people from our home and feeding them to the zombies. It's what had to be done to keep the rest of us safe. Is that why the only people who ever got sacrificed were people that Blackstock had a personal problem with? Your disruptions were just as dangerous as the drones. Sometimes a leader must make unpopular decisions for the good of the whole. Well said. I have heard your testimonies and sympathize with your plight. Truly, I do. But I'm afraid that this is not a matter that can be handled by the court. Your Majesty, you can't mean... Your fate shall be decided in a trial by combat. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy ripping them apart. A representative from each group will face off against the other combatants, including my champion, Lady Alea, and let's say you 2. He gestures vaguely at you and Jung. Until the trial, you will remain under constant supervision by my knights. You can't treat us like your prisoners. You would do well to remember, you are in my kingdom and my word is law. Now, get them out of my sight. That guy's a bit full of himself, but the 2 guards from earlier escort your group from the tower, and the tower guards back outside, one of them keeping a hand on Eli's shoulder until you're a few paces away from the building. Great. Now I'm stuck in some kind of trial, and I don't know the first thing about it. It's pretty simple. Last one standing wins. Just be glad we're more civilized than those raider bastards. I hear they feed people to huge mutant zombies for sport. Have you met the Tower? We literally just said they sacrifice people to zombies. Oh, the raiders! They feed people to zombies too for sport! Oh, really? At least in Ironmount, you've got a chance of surviving. Though, Lady Ilia's never been beat. She's brutal, that one. Could have joined the King's Retrine years ago and been sitting pretty, but she'd rather fight it out in the muck. The guards prod you forward down the street, pausing to chat with the shopkeeper. A bright-eyed young man comes out of the smithy and nervously approaches you. Oh, are you the outsiders we've been hearing about? You don't look like raiders to me. I'm Faith Reeves, and these are my friends. We're from Io. Oh, I'm Darren, the Blacksmith's apprentice. Wait, if you're from another colony, then you've seen the real world, right? What's it like out there? Have you never left Iron Mountain before? Nobody gets to leave town but the knights, and they just go as far as the border. Well, let's see. Just in the last few days, we've seen people living in the skeleton of a skyscraper, fields of crops bigger than the whole town. Not to mention a bunch of a-holes with cool cars. No way, like actual motor vehicles with engines and everything? I've always wanted to see one. I wish I could do something to help you with the trial, but everything here was made by my teacher, and she'd throw me in the forge if I lent it out. But maybe I could... Hold on just a second. He disappears back inside and reappears a moment later carrying a bundle of cloth, which he unwraps and presents to you. I made these for practice out of some old scraps. They're not much, but maybe they can help you. Oh, scrap bracers. That actually would probably do better than the leather gloves I am. You slide the bracers onto your forearms and tighten the laces, securing them in place. Yes, better than the gloves. Means I can actually block shit. Thank you for these, Darren. I hopefully can repay the favor sometime. I won't be able to watch the trial, but I'll be rooting for you. Alright, you lot, get moving. We've got important business to be about. To your surprise, the knights steer your group into a small, nearby, empty tavern, just outside the arena. What are we doing in here? You lot aren't fighting till the next round. I don't fancy baking in the sun while I win. That and there's no line for ale, while everyone else is out at the fight. Oh, barkeep! Hey, we get drunk before dying. The knights wander over to the bar, vaguely keeping an eye on you, as the tavern's owner takes their orders. Raucous cheering arises from the nearby arena, drifting through the tavern's open window. Last one standing sounds simple enough, but I doubt I'll be. The arena's right there. Wouldn't be too hard to sneak out that window and see what you're actually up against. But what about the knights and the guards? They're not just gonna let us leave. Let me and Shannon handle that. We'll buy you as much time as we can, so you can figure out how to best prepare. And how to make sure you destroy the rest of those chumps. With me and Eli giving pointers, it is going to be way easier. It's risky, but it might give me the upper hand. Diamond choice. Let's go take a look. It's in a book. Troy strides confidently over to the bar, wedging himself between the knights, and speaking in a loud, jovial voice. Might as well live while we can, am I right? First round's on me, you two DeLuna junk. Get over here! You think we're gonna fraternize with the... Screw it, if I'm gonna get executed, I sure as hell ain't going out sober. Man, these are called idiots. Oi, you trying to butter us up or something? Oh, heavens no, unless it's working. The other knight laughs, and Shannon gives you a furtive thumbs up while everyone is occupied ordering drinks. You, Angel, and Eli slip out the window. The streets are mercifully empty, and you're able to quickly dart beneath the stands and curtains falling shut behind you. Pretty good vantage point from here. Pretty good, my ass. Those are the best seats in the house. She's got a point. Peering out from between the cracks in the wood, you can see the whole arena without being spotted by anyone else. Do you think we're too close? We don't even know what's about to happen in there. I mean, I assume lots of violence is going to happen. Just keep cool and stay quiet. A deafening clang sounds in the arena, and the crowd goes wild as the gates begin to open. Fighters in ragged clothing and knights in silver armor file into the ring. You hear the harsh screech of feedback, followed by a resounding voice, unmistakably King Trent's. Let today of the first trials commence! With yet another metallic scrape, another gate swings open, and a throng of drones burst in the arena, teeth gnashing. Oh my god. Whoa, it's not just a fight to the death, it's a fight with undeath. Disgusting. And yet, here we are, not surprised by why he's doing what he's doing to us. Despite Eli's words, your hands ball in a fist and your heart stammers unsteadily. Angel nudges your shoulder. You okay, Faith? It's just the Knights made this seem like more humane option. But to me, it seems like sick entertainment for the king. Forcing people to fight to the death while everyone else watches, it's like our lives are a joke to him. I don't understand how Trent gained an ounce of respect with these people. Because he owned the land, that's it. Fear is more potent with respect. The competitors scatter through the arena. Then as a fighter races away from the zombies, a knight intercepts him and plunges his sword through the man's stomach. For Iron Mount! Oh, hey, it's you. I haven't seen you since Crown of the Flame? They're actually killing each other. This is barbaric. That's what you'll have to do. I don't know if I can. Killing drones is one thing, and they're already dead, but people? It's not like you're going to do the dirty work yourself. That's one thing drones are good for. All it takes is a little trip, and whoever you're fighting is as good as dinner. That's hardly any different. Staying alive's way more important than how you do it. You have to use every advantage. It's not like my life's on the line out there. It's everyone back in IO. I'll take out anyone who stands in my way. It's not like you want the rest of those bozos to get eaten, but if it's them or you, it's obvious what you gotta choose. The crowd above you erupts into cheers as the knights sink their lances into the head of a drone. Remember to keep your eye on your surroundings. Your environment can be as good as a weapon as your crossbow. Those walls definitely look sturdy enough to crack some zombie's head on, and those flag thingies could make good spears. At the moment, a terrified fighter flees from a zombie, only to stumble over a mound of raised earth. She's immediately swarmed by drones who tear her throat out. She's gurgling, screams fill the air. Yeesh, running away is a definite no-no. Yep, you don't turn your back to your enemy. Noted. Eli grunts, and you follow the directions of his gaze. In a far corner of the arena, a fighter and a knight are working together to take down a group of drones. Now! Hyah! The knight's heavy broadsword cleaves through 3 drones at once. They pivot on their heel and use their body to protect the fighter, who sinks a crossbow bolt into another drone's head. I thought the knight said it was a last man standing. Yeah, last man. Teaming up will give you a pretty big edge in a free-for-all fight. Until they betray you. Both of you were on your own before you met the rest of us. How did you survive, Eli? By keeping my distance. The moment you have to be in close quarters with your attacker is the moment you're at risk. Isn't it easier to keep away when you've got allies watching your back? If you become too reliant on your allies, they'll just take you down with them. What's important is that you make it out of here alive, period. And it wouldn't kill you to have a little fun in the process. You look at Angel like she's sprouted a second head. What part of that looks fun to you? You jab your thumb towards the arena where a drone is in the process of prying off a fallen knight's breastplate, ripping off one of his arms in the process. Hello, the costumes, the old-timey weapons. You've gotta admit, it's kind of incredibly cool. You gotta be joking. Angel's grin flickers for a moment, her voice taking on a strangely serious tone. Well, yeah, dude, the emotional repression thing might work for you, but some of us, got too many feelings to push them all down. If we don't laugh, we'll cry. I can respect that. She turns to face the arena, her eyes looking a little wet as she cracks the arc of a knuckle. As she tracks the arc of a knight's sword slicing through a zombie skull. I'm sorry. Whatever. Angel picks out an old blood stain on the ground, and Eli looks at you helplessly. You know, Angel, I think you'd look pretty hot in that armor. What? Just because I build stuff, I don't get to be a pretty princess? That's not what I mean, you could totally be a princess. I just thought... Trail off as Angel shoots you a mischievous smile. No, you're right. I'm definitely going smash things with a mace kind of gal. I do look pretty cute in a dress, though. Now, this is, I need to see. Suddenly a fighter some 10 feet away loses footing, his knife skittering beneath the stands as he hits the ground. He scrambles at the dirt, desperately to get away as two drones descend on him. Help! Grit your teeth as his blood spills across the ground, and you watch the zombie shove chunks of torn flesh down their gullets. I'll never get used to seeing that. You tear your gaze away and pick up the knife lying in the dirt beside you. Might come in handy. You wipe the blood clean with your sleeve and carefully tuck it away in your boot, out of sight. Never hurts to have another weapon on hand. It's not like the last guy's gonna use it. You watch as the fighter's corpse is picked clean. Any lightheartedness you felt stamped down, although looms ahead now is the threat of another fight. Hey. Angel's hands on your arm is surprisingly light. They glance sideways at her and she gives you a cheeky smile. You got this. I wish I was so sure. We're sure. Let that be enough. You look from Angel's cheerful expression to Eli's solid determination. You give a firm nod, setting your jaw. Right, let's get back to the others. Creep back out from beneath the stands and hurry back to the group, just as the loud voice announces the end of the current match. Following the knights, you step into the arena. They urge your friends and Luna into the stands. As he passes, Troy claps you on the shoulder and leans in to whisper, I'm not usually one to encourage this, but if you've in the trial with Jung, that's the perfect time to take her out. You want me to kill her? She wants to kill us. If she escapes, she'll bring the cavalry to Io's doorsteps, maybe kill everyone there, too. Just think about it, okay? Stomach churning, you make your way to the center, where the other competitors have gathered. A few yards away, you spot a furious drone trapped behind a gate. This is insane. You approach Leah, who nods in greeting. I'm sorry it has come to this, Faith, but I wish you the best of luck in the battle to come. Some of the other competitors fidget in ratted clothing, their eyes wide with fear. This can't be happening. I didn't do anything wrong, I swear. How can you just go along with this, Leia? You have to see how cruel this is. I do not enjoy the arena, but it is a necessary evil, and by competing I can give a people a clean death rather than letting them suffer. The king and I have been friends since childhood, and it's his generosity that preserved us from the undead. He has reasons for what he does. I must trust in that. But I miss Ezekiel. He's a good king. A bell sounds over the field as Trent takes a seat at the top of the stands. Surrounded by his guards, fellow nobles, his voice echoes out through a radio. It is my honor to welcome you to this trial where my champion, Lady Leah, will face down trespassers, slacking rebel and zombies. And now let the games begin. The gates around the arena slide open, releasing a pack of hungry drones and sending everyone scattering as the audience cheers. Remembering Troy's advice, you wheel around to find Jung, who's already charging across the field. You race after her. Get back here. In the corner of your eye, you spot Trent pull a lever beside him, and the gate next to you shoots open, sending a furious zombie right at you. Block its claws. You throw your arms up to shield your face, and the drone's wicked talons scrape harmlessly over the metal of your braces. Seems confused. You're in my way. You do a quick scan of the arena, spotting a large banner hanging from a pole beside the gate as the drone advances on you, slavering. Bash his head against the wall. As the creature charges, you catch his head between your hands and use its momentum to smash the top of its skull into the wooden wall surrounding the arena. You crush his head into the wall again and again until your hands are coated in blood and chunks of brain matter. You look up at Trent with furious glare as you throw the limp corpse to the dirt and shout, You'll have to try harder than that. You can spot his scowl all the way up in the stands as you race across the field of Jung. Dust fills the air from the fighting. You sprint through it and spot Elena, tangling with two drones. On the other side, a drone feasts on the face of another competitor, ripping muscle and skin free and drowning out their screams. Well, rip to her. And then finally you see Jung. She bashes the head of a drone in her club, then locks eyes with you. End of the line. What? Are you gonna kill me, Faith? We both know you don't have the guts. But bringing your head to Blackstock would definitely land me a promotion. What do you say? Wanna just give it up? She springs forward, swinging with her club. You nimbly dodge out of the way, but she turns the swing into a spin, cracking her weapon in the side of your head. Uh-oh. Too easy. Your heartbeat thumps loudly in your ears as she stalks towards you. Behind her, another gate swings open, two more drones stumbling inside. Shove her into the drones. Stab her in the chest. You know what? Glaive braced in your hands, you lunge forward and sink the tip through her chest, up beneath her collarbone. Bye, Jung. Hey. All the anger drains from you in a flash as you rip the blade back out. Bright crimson blood pumps from the wound, soaking through her clothes and pooling in the dirt at her feet. You won't what? She takes a stumbling step forward, clutching weakly at your front, eyes seeing through you as she crumples to the ground. You stand frozen, staring at Jung's lifeless body, until an ear-splitting shriek echoes out over the arena. Oh no. They captured a scout? The creature immediately charges the barricades beside the stands, its dagger-like claws ripping into the wood as more drones flock to its aid. It's breaking through! The drones repeatedly slam themselves into the barrier until finally it splinters apart. Get me out of here! Defend the king! In a whirlwind, Trent and his knights disappear from view. This is as Leah charges past you, straight into the fray. Everyone run! The stands empty as people race to get away from the attacking horde, but the scout follows after, its shrieks drawing the drones along behind it. They're headed into town. You rush after them, the streets of Ironmount fill with panicked cries, hungry drones, and you spot Darren amidst the chaos, tugging urgently at the reins of a carded horse who refuses to budge. A drone moving ever closer. Come on, you can't stay out here, they'll get you! I'm gonna defend him. Get away from him. You throw yourself in front of Darren, arms raised protectively. What are you? The drone's teeth clamp down on one of your braces, and several of them shatter with the impact. You rip your arm free, grab its head, throwing it into the edge of a nearby cart. Its skull cracks open, dripping brain matter onto the cobblestone. Faith, you saved my life. And technically you saved mine more than once, so we're even, kid. Get inside before something else comes along to kill you. You shove Darren towards the nearest building. Turn back to see Leia carving a path through the horde with her flail, eyes locked on the scout. Yeah, at least she knows what to go after. Need a hand? You're still here? We weren't about to leave you all just to die. Suddenly a drone rushes at Leia and knocks her flail out of her hands. Ah! Snarling, it surges forward, and she struggles to hold it back as its claws scrape harshly against the metal of her armor. I got it, just hold on. You seize the drone, throwing your arms around its chest and dragging it back, even as it struggles against you. You keep a tight grip on the drone with one arm while you use the other to snatch the knife out of your boot. You sink the blade into the creature's throat, hot black blood pouring out over your hand, then jerk it up, back out through the drone's face. The zombie goes limp in your arms and you toss it to the ground. She gives you a grateful nod. Thank you for that. I will not forget the debt I owe you. Don't mention it. Out of my way. Oh, no, you don't. You see DeLuna charge down the street, dodging through the crowds of colonists and zombies until he's just a few feet from the edge of the town. Damn it, if he gets away... He looks at you, from you to DeLuna, and snatches a spear from the blacksmith's display and hurls it through the air. Oh! The point sticks right into his leg, and he screams as he falls to the ground, immediately drawing the attention of all the nearby drones. Consider that a favor for a friend. Just leaves the scout. We have to tag team it. You and her split up and charge the scout from opposite sides. Her armor glints in the midday sun, and the scout whips to her direction. She catches the scout in the side with a flail, and as it stumbles, she leaps and tackles it to the ground. Keep it still. She wrestles with the creature, pinning it in place, giving you a chance to take aim with your crossbow. Now, you pull the trigger, and your bolt sinks right between the scout's eyes, leaving a sickly trail of blood dripping down its face. She gets up and nudges the corpse with her boot before giving a satisfied nod. Good call. This isn't the first one of these bastards I've dealt with. With the scout dead, the knights maneuver through the streets and alleys until the remaining drones are cleared out. Is it over? Thanks to you. After all we put you through, you still remain to defeat us, or defend us. I cannot say I understand why. These people didn't have anything to do with what happened to me. They were just innocent bystanders, and they needed my help. You're an honorable woman, Faith Reeves. You'd make a great knight. Thank you. I let Trent's games go on for far too long. This was their inevitable conclusion. Hopefully he died, though. A mob of colonists marches down the street, one of them pushing Trent along with his hands pinned behind his back. Lady Aaliyah, we caught this coward in the stables trying to steal one of the horses and escape. Hand me this instant. I am your king! The king is meant to be a pillar of his people, to lead them, not abuse his power for his own personal gains. Ironmount needs no king. It never has. Death to the tyrant! Give us his head. Leia, wait, you can't let them do this to me. Faith, at one time Trent was my friend, but that has just blinded me to the injustices he wrought on others. For that reason, you should decide what should be done with him, as one of the many whom he wronged. Are you sure you're okay with this? I would rather he not die, but it is not my decision to make. What do you think is best? Trent should be given to the people. They were the ones he hurt the most. They should be allowed to enact their justice. The colonist holding Trent forces him down on his hands and knees, while the others close in, forming a tight circle around him as he shouts, Alea, please don't let them kill me, please. You know I never meant for anything to get out of hand. I was just trying my best. Pain flits across her face, and she turns away. I'm sorry. One of the peasants draws a sword and hefts it over his head as Trent struggles helplessly. You can't kill me. I'm your king. Quit begging. Nothing can save you now. He brings the sword down and slices clean Trent's head. His head rolls across the cobblestone and a single tear slides down her cheek. It's done. I guess this makes you the new leader of Ironmount. I only hope I can do right by our people after failing for so many years. But as my first act, I would like to offer you and your colony an alliance. Today has proven that we are stronger together than apart. And we'd be honored. In fact, you're welcome to come with us if you want to see it for yourselves. Nearby, you see Darren perk up at the invitation. Oh, wait. Are you saying we could leave Ironmount? Like, I could see the rest of the world is like? It's not as pretty as you think, kid, but I don't know what the whole world, but I think you'll like it up at I.O. Very well. Allow me a moment to organize recovery efforts. Then I would be most honored to see your home. After finding your friends, you make the journey back to YO with a number of Ironmount's knights and townsfolk. You weren't jesting. There's more than enough space to expand. And with all the horses and materials we brought, we could build a warhorse stable. What's that? A place where we train our most talented animals to be combat ready. You're telling me we could have horses with guns? More like horses with armor, and who don't get spooked and run at the first sight of a drone. If they're anything like your horses today, Alea, they'd be a huge asset. Help our fighters could certainly use. Now we could form our own round table, the Knights of Io. Don't get ahead of yourself, Troy. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, should we start building the stables? We don't even get a choice. Build the warhorse stables to add to your fighter score and unlock their bonus moments through the story. Think about it though, we don't even get a choice. This is one building we don't even get a choice about. It's the illusion of choice, I guess? Everyone will love having some extra reinforcements, even if they're horses. Our horses are fiercer than some people. I'll leave everything to us, or just leave everything to us. We'll get the space built up and teach everyone what they need to know. Magically. What the hell is all this? We made a new alliance. These are the people of Ironmound. They're just visiting, but I was planning to visit some of, or to invite some of them to stay. I should know by now that if you let Faith explore, she's gonna come back with some new friends. Or enemies. What about the tower guards? Did they get away? No, they're dead. We took care of them. They're deader than a Z-bag. Oh, well, that's a relief. What about everything here? Everything okay? We cleared out another plot of land while you were gone, but can't decide what to put in it. The Sunflower Creek people want a basketball court, but the builders think a sparring arena would be more useful. Because it would. You clearly never played the best sport in existence, Eli, or you're just afraid of getting dunked on. A game does sound like a good way for everyone to bond. I'd rather get scrappy with them in the pit. Well, we did get horses. We have done reinforcements. We've done quite a bit, and we do need to keep morale high, so... This one's a tough one. I mean, they have training, right? I'll do basketball court for morale. Basketball court by the front door. Okay, whatever. Whatever. You know, boost morale, I guess. You take a moment to look around at the newly constructed buildings and people milling about the colony grounds. With all these new people, everything we built, this place is really starting to feel like a home. Dirt looks over the colony for a long moment, then shakes his head and turns to leave. He just barely catches next words as he walks away. Here's hoping we don't screw it up. Hey, I didn't know it was me. Knights took you captive, Trent was sentenced, blah 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 blah. Pretty much if the recap is dumb as shit, I'm gonna be honest. Like, if you actually played the shit, or paid attention at all, you know, you kind of figured, like, you paid attention at all. Yeah, see, morale was low. Morale would have been the lowest. Now it's at least tied with low, right? We need to up research. Fighters is doing good. Fortifications is doing great. Food supply, again, if you don't have food, you can't feed your fighters, you know what I'm saying? So without further ado, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down description below, links to social media, Discord, if you'd like to support me and my content. Without further ado, let me know what you thought of the chapter. Let me know what you thought of, you know, me reading, yada yada yada. You've been here long enough. Speaking of which, this is kind of like a personal message to, you know, those of you who aren't patient Okay? I'm just gonna leave this TLDR. Okay? Here we go. You know, you guys' input and whatnot is very valued, right? Criticism too. Here's the thing. Stop demanding things which are not, like, owed to you. I'm gonna be real. I have a life. I have two brothers that I take care of and I raise. Okay? That are a lot more work than most normal children, right? Because they're special needs, right? Okay. Then I also do streaming. I also have my own things I need to take care of. And then I do choices and 3,600 other videos that I've put up on this channel in terms of content that pretty much if you go to Social Blade, it's a website. I want you to type in any content creator that's been on the platform, right? Of YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Okay? I want you to go there and I want you to type in their name. Okay, just for instance, pull up Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, whoever you think is they really crank out that content. And compare the length of how long I've been on the platform to the length they've been on the platform, okay? I literally have enough videos to compete with some of the biggest creators in the world, and I've done it in half of the time of them. So don't come barking at me going, "Where's my choices?" Or, "You're letting down the community because you're not putting them out ASAP. Listen, I'm doing something where I'm paying for something to be able to bring it out to you sooner. Okay? I don't have to. This used to be a channel where I didn't do diamonds except for when I chose to. And it used to be just where I did the playthrough my way. It was supposed to be my choices, my playthrough. Okay? I don't think you guys understand that. That's what content creators do. They choose to do things their way or the highway, right? There is no streamlined service. So if you don't like that, you know, sucks to suck. I'm not going to apologize. Sorry, not sorry. Because, like, this is my channel. This is my community. If you don't want to wait and be patient with content, guess what? Hey, you have this really cool thing. It's where you can go make content yourself. I dare you. I challenge you. I actually challenge you. Go try and keep up with any person on this platform. A free people, not paying for VIP, and then good luck to also doing VIP. Right? Like, you guys learned, like, there's people who have just come out of the woodwork that they're like, "Oh man, he got VIP. Quickly, you crack the whip on him, okay? He needs to put out those things ASB." And I'm just sitting here going, look, there's like 20 other video games coming out that are literally coming to this channel. Plus, I'm streaming like 36 hours out of like 3 days, okay? So 36 out of 72 hours of Dying Light 2 content, let alone Sifu. Like, give me a break right now. You're not entitled to shit. Patience. Okay? Especially on the weekend. Do you have choices come out from choices on the weekend? No? Then blow it out your ass, and yeah, I'm saying this, okay? Like, I don't know what to tell you. You don't like it? I don't know what to tell you. This is it. This is all I'm saying on the matter. Next person that gives me gripe, guess what? Just, there's a saying, F around and find out. Go ahead, F around and find out. Thanks to everyone else, though, who is patient, watches the content as it comes out, and whatnot. Especially on content that basically I'm paying $15 a month out to provide beyond what Choices is giving us, okay? They've already screwed over the community enough, okay? And they've admitted it, and there's a bunch of people mad at them. Thanks for watching. Peace out.